minister have stolen everything and nobody says anything. When they even came out and said their own MPs came out and said he should resign, what happened? He never resigned. He continued to work. Nobody said anything because Akufo-Addo is not listening to those ones.
Thank you.
And that is why people are now dying in Ghana out of hunger. He was talking about us, the north, that there is no school. There are. Because we have Bawumia who is there giving them votes. If he didn't go to school, he wouldn't have. And I don't think MPP sponsored him. The only thing is that they managed to groom him to become the best liar in the world. That's the funny thing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think my sister here is a prophetess. When she forms her church, I will be there. I'll tell you why.
She said that.
No.
She didn't pay any price to that.
No, there's a reason.
It didn't cost her anything for her to say we have groomed somebody to become a liar. I mean, we're talking about an asset to our country.
Okay, so when you say this is my time, Lao.
Oh, what does that mean?
You are asset to. You see, the reason I say she's a prophet is that Nana Addo just confirmed exactly what my sister has said. That this case is going to be played like Okofu football. Why? In Nana Addo's acknowledgement of Honorable Cecilia Dapa's letter of resignation, I'll read verbatim the last sentence. I am confident, like you, that at the end of the day, your integrity whilst in office will be fully established. So you see where my sister says that this case is not going anywhere.
So what is the meaning of what you have said?
I just read English.
I can't
my brother.
understand that. Integrity in office.
He is confident, like Cecilia, that when whatever investigation is settled, Cecilia's integrity will be clear. I'll read it again, Kopikula. Where the Omono Mochroy. If it's a mechanical one, Tiasia, or the Fapo Nefre, Bidia, let me read it again.
It is social media.
I hope my time now go. Today, I know Cecilia Dapa position. That's what this is what he said. I am confident like you that at the end of the day, your integrity in office will be fully established. So when you had your time, you could have read it lah. The point here is this, this is another gargantuan act of corruption that will go swept under the carpet. But should we be surprised? No. Why? Because Transparency International has been very clear on this. If you go to Ghana's Corruption Perception Index records, in the last 20 years, the best performance was under President Mahama. The one president that my brother Kweku claims that there were polytanks around with money in them. In fact, now you see they built when they did their tracker, project tracker, classroom beer or polytank, and then one unit toilet. This is how we know. Now I'm worried that Abia, if you go to all those polytanks, you know, what people have said, you know, maybe I don't let
to lose. Yes.
Because me,
yes.
And then,
actually,
it's true. I have to go and look at those polytanks. Because you just have polytanks in the but you see, the point is, what my brother has said, he knows, sir. There is no single polytank at Flagstaff House that had one CD, talk of even $1 in it. But the point you are coming here is that OSHA Corruption Perception Index, you look at President Mahama's performance. Let me tell you the secret to cut it short. President Mahama's worst performance on the Corruption Perception Index was 43. That is President Nana Addo's best performance. Still, he's still struggling. The year before, 43. Pam. Last year, 43. Pam. I can bet you on my last dollar said 2023, it will even be worse. He took it down. And so when Transparency International was saying that all this corruption was going on, where do you think the process of corruption were going? Can you walk with $1 million into a bank and put it into the account? Ghana must go. Can you do that?
Why has
And
police
so,
not taken any steps?
I'm going to land on that.
The blame, is it on the police?
No. Kofi,
On the-
don't go far.
Okay, go on.
This is, as I understand the story, the house, Bank of Cecilia Dapa, headquartered at Abilingpe, there was so much money under the bag.
When a man license
That-
operating.
Mabina,
And this
patience.
When a man license
Eh?
operating. Did you give her
Patience.
license to operate?
No, but she
I
was
thought say when I'm
operating.
the man.
Did you give her license to operate?
There was so much money under Mpana
That's what I'm saying, why?
that
That's money laundering.
Cecilia,
Cecilia's
Cecilia's house
money
staff,
laundering.
Patience, Mabina, I salute her. She is the Robin Hood of Ghana. She was taking the money between June last year, Ekopim October 2022.
Hey, no,
Time Ayaka said, Sikani ho, ya twitwa nkrofo sika, we increasing bills. She was taking it small. I know she's a very kind-hearted woman. Whoever her lawyer is, we will contribute money for her defense, and I'll tell you why. Sir, in my village, this little proverb, proverb will help you. Yes, see, you can steal the village drum. The problem is where you beat that drum. When she took the money, she gave some to her boyfriend. Very kind-hearted lady. In fact, she gave some to her father. I'm only sad that the father got less than the boyfriend. She's very good at investment. In fact,
these allegations, any evidence?
Charge sheet in the part of the case. I want to the charge sheet. I am coming. Relax.
We are told
Let me lie. I see, sir. Cecilia Dapa has set confusion into the camp of the MPP. So I can understand. It's not, look, if I were in their shoes, it would be difficult to this kind of thing. But let me go back to Robin Hood. Mami Sanko Robin Hood wa. Robin Hood wa Mabina. She gave some to her boyfriend. Gave some to her father. She bought a $70,000 house at Amrasha in Accra. Let me finish.
No,
they want to move on because they see say maybe I want to. But you see they interrupt me. How am I going to land when they are? So let me finish. Let me finish. I'm building a point. Kofi, I'm building a point. She invested $70,000 of that money buying a 3-bedroom house at in Accra.
Who is she?
The maid.
Do you know the value of that investment to the jobs it created? $70,000.
So what's the
Times
argument?
30.
I'm confused.
That's over 7 billion Ghana cedis that time. No. She invested that money in Ghana. She didn't put it under her bed. She was putting it in consumption to help stimulate Oforiate's economy.
So now NBC is for theft. NBC for your theft.
That's the language you understand.
Who support that for?
You know, say anytime they take my time, I'll have to carry on me. So the point is this.
Please, if you
The point is this. Now let me roll it down back to Cecilia and Kasa. Was Cecilia Dapa when she went into politics?
No. Kofi,
but you've taken 75 of my time. No. Kofi, no. No. The point is this. Look, under her bed. Under her bed. They stole. Let her now carry on. Because you see what we have to do when he said. Anytime they talk.
Move on.
If they carry on interrupting me, I will have to continue. Move on. Good. The point I'm making in said. The point I'm making in said this.
No, because you don't want to face the truth.
She had so much money under her bed that over a period of 6 months. Over a period of 6 months, they stole $1 million in cash. You know what $1 million is? That is 10,000 notes. $1 million. $1 million. That is 10,000 notes. If the money was in $100 bills, that is 10,000 individual notes. And Kabechima, it will fill this room. That is a big amount of money. And they stole it for 6 months and said the husband didn't even notice. They only noticed it earlier this year and went and reported to police. Now let me tell you the arrogance of it all. This is the same minister that spent 40.
You're being biased.
No, you are the one who are prolonging my time. You are prolonging my time. You are prolonging my time.
Ask the producer.
And the only producer I kept an eye on the time.
But you are interrupting me. You are interrupting me. Point I'm making is Cecilia Dapa spent $43 million on sanitation in Accra. You go to Accra and see what the result is.
Nothing has been done.
And she has millions under her bed. Look, let me announce to all the house helps in all the big men's houses, whether they're MPP or NDC. Look under your Oga's bed. If you see those dollars, steal them. Steal them.
Wow.
None of us here should be sitting here defending this kind of
What is this?
Thank you.
Everybody knows that it's not. If she knew she was right, why did she resign?
Chairman, go on. Thank you.
You see,
Now, Kofi, just a simple point. Notice something. I'm coming.
look at how you behave.
Relax. Kofi, listen. I'm going to make an observation. I'm telling you, sir. Relax. What I'm saying is this. As he's talking, observers, right? As he's talking, observe.
What's on the mark? No.
Offer, go on, please.
Kofi Medasi. I didn't win that me. It didn't. So over here, starting now, make us now straight away. I went straight to the point. If you roll the tape and play it, I didn't do politics around it. Okay. Question. I didn't think that didn't happen October 2022 or somewhere. If what is out there, if it is true,
October.
I'm trying to be careful because you see, social media is so powerful these days. Say, me bet nane dem kuku bibi abetwa bom. No man a kofa ayi obabi a voice. Ese onye enkantre Ghana fo nyina se obi anko yi ni sika mfiri ye friend say treasury bill. Nipa nyina kwosesa ana wura fi Kofi. Oba ne kasa ye within a week. Na Ghana sika nyina asa dollars asa. We mo ena he. So what I say? Now, at the end of the talk, somebody can also do the same. And by the time I don't forget, at the end of the day, I'm say Friday or Saturday, near the real weekend, be a near tomorrow, my moon, Memenda, Cosiada, Munchino, yes, be a bedroom Monday, Tuesday, now, fax me never started to say about no what cause to damage too much to extent. That's how they are. They are so good at it that they will cause damage and rejoice in it. That's what he has to say. Also, NDC. I will do Kenya and Otiaka, small TV, so Kakao is saying,
come on.
Uncle Bokron, can you believe this man?
What's the ministers?
As some of your kind of here, one can say ministers.
Members of the
even NDC for crack home.
On one go for.
On one call for what can say?
No, because he doesn't
come there. Will you make it here? Coco Bokron, can you imagine somebody who is fighting to become NDC, UK, and Ireland?
Chairman.
TV so way and young common and this is NDC for you. They kill before complain. That's what they do for living. Eti media nyameme kan say police for my womo dwuma ne say criminal issues as so we taking on. And you say near Sino, say, Utie me. Obi chin and Asia. Fact in a down near the home come and net and Obi chin and Asia and you. But fact in a way, young way.
So, last year,
almost say, one say.
in the media.
Me say why no
Media, I will say.
na the media no media na social media wa no sisa ne ma no bi eka bi o Ghana. And then this for nyam no mu twetwe sika ma nkofo no mu ekeka saa. Nya no mu nya de omo ya. And you know when the facts are out. And that's what I'm saying and I mean it. The police should take over, make sure they go detailed to the last bit of it and make sure say if as I say emra na ye aduma omunfa emra emfa nya aduma. That's all. Wey they be anymore. Enya MPP situation ade na da ho no o ma yire o ho na MPP ho etwa yese na MPP na MPP ni wo won enipa no bibia si say ampa say nipa kro no ye dealing with that person emra and dealing with that person say MPP NDC ene ende me condemn say na no what you say and that be anti na ma me communication line that be am different from papa yi mami de onu de animi am fenti me fam what you best
That's an impact.
ute
That's an impact.
ute eti me de especially NDC for ma say na say ye cry the man no say dem man say ye be man no kwa kware man na because say dem be ya wo mbeti na ba fie what you say di media mawie kakra meka wo mo ano ye mamra nya aduma e wo man dan
Because you don't next point. You don't budget.
It's woman chairman tra.
Oh,
Eduma women's organizer tra. Accusing no. Women's chairman so my
actually,
and I also chairman I go there.
Chairman, I have got your policy here.
Yes,
That was your
One of the
2016
me
manifesto.
okay.
manifesto.
One of
the
friend
next
man
point.
Okay.
Why? Mr. Wa. You can win
W, and your time. Who's that? Is very much jumping. No, but you can't move too far.
Yeah,
Your time.
because you wanted it.
It was my time.
No, he
It was
wanted
my
it.
Let them
time.
read it for themselves.
It was my time.
We'll give them the reference.
It was my
I
time.
will send it to chairman. Just wait.
ma me send this ni bia send ayina ye kana breno je wono akotro dia send this
No, that's your policy. That was your 2016 manifesto.
Oh, my.
MPP That's your manifesto.
When's your manifesto?
Oh, now promises not what we have done.
We're talking about the actual manifesto document.
Ah, there's an okay.
When your
Manifesto when you compare here free manifesto any.
Yeah, quote
I
manifesto.
said we
We
want
are
to
for manifesto.
Gina can
manifesto that you don't
Let them read it.
I'll leave
Section
it.
15, read
They
it.
read it for themselves.
Go and read it.
Not now.
Yeah, tell them when you want them to go.
Okay.
Go and read it. Sorry.
Sorry.
Hold on. On Thursday, July 27th, Finance Minister Ebekasa already delivered the mid-year review of the budget statement and economic policy of the government. Is there anything I expected from it? One is the IMF loan, how we are creating finance or funding to be able to make sure say we are on track of everything. So within all this, with the loan, what is the current state of the economy?
Kofi we dey me say me ana me makoku fa.
Yes.
But as a Kofi, now very, very important question. Budget's in there. It's a very, very key document. A very important document now. I was going to be pay attention to you know what I expect.
27th of July.
What I expect is Honorable Ken will touch on some of the IMF conditionalities, kakra. And then there will be some say IMF say $3 billion, you know, conditions. And then I mentioned say conditions, you know, before IMF this kind of money, you know, we had already tabled a number of conditions, to be able to get that kind of because otherwise common for money. So one who's this kind of usually common for money. So we've tabled a number of policies. It be the very painful debt exchange, you know. We had to go through at a time when it's very difficult for the country, and I'm sure we all agree. So the country got to a certain stage, and government bonds they can't touch it. But unfortunately, the difficulty we faced because of the twin problem we've encountered i.e. COVID and Ukraine. And then we had to go through that difficult route. Now, I would expect to see so far some of the progress that we've made in some of the sectors that Ghana have been invested. I also want to see, or I expect to see, an update on the CARES program, or Batampa CARES program. That was a key program in the budget. The two say and no na kwa fast de revive it after COVID. So we put out I think it was 100 billion Ghana City program, Ghana CARES program. Small business kana and the man can be a tool sinning kana. Now they are raising economy, no. And in fact, I read an article recently, and it looks like say in the last couple of months the economy is turning around from the negativity and a war immediate post COVID and Ukraine. We're doing okay. The money is there. I know the part of the money was meant to be invested in infrastructure, road works, and the other. And in fact, when it comes to rules, I think the NPP government has done pretty well. I think there's a Ghana for perhaps. So let's give credit when credit is due, and let's criticize, of course, when we have to. So budgeting is important. I think every Ghanaian should make time to listen, particularly where the disbursement of the SOFA money released. I don't think we've had all the 3 billion yet. I think we've had some, but not all. You see, when we came in, the priority was not to increase taxes. So we abolished over 17 taxes from the NDC, what we took over this, KIU, all these sorts of things. Because they realized that we had to move the economy from a taxation economy to a production economy. And that is a dream. Any textbook, any economy will tell you that's the path to follow. Unfortunately, we've had this twin problem, where global external shocks. There's nothing we can do about that. And Obi Bizarre and say, because Obi program is the DNA is see Ukraine and Ghana DNA Ukraine. You see, economy is not just Ghana and a network of trade and people in and out. Until the Bakuto Chima, a bad affect Bibia. Ebia na in fact be Ukraine. Ebia na confirm be free South Africa. South Africa Nino Ojina or ne economy in the Bibia na ship free China eba. China Nino or confirm free Ukraine. So there is that connection, and it's very simple to understand. A supply chain problem. Obi ocean business kakra, and this is perhaps where I have a problem with the Ghanaian business community. So they should be making a case for the external factor. A big Obi our business biano, you have to be pestle condition.
600, the next payment in November, no more for money. Now we have to prove and show that we are getting money from somewhere to be able to sustain.
Yeah, very big pestle. I understand that question, Kofi Medaze. Yeah, very big pestle. Political factors, economic factors, sociological factors, technological factors, ecological and legal. And within the country and outside, no, these things that kind of want. You can't do anything about it. You can't control it. You only have to Google the top 10 significant events in the world in 2020, 2021, and you see how it may affect every economy. And then we are running at a 40-year high inflation. You didn't see that. We've always managed inflation at 2.5. You could see 10. In the Obia, and I know that this is for say a case I told my lines, argument. It's a flawed argument. So I'm here and say a flawed argument or China. They want to make a similar argument, it will be the same.
Are we in a crisis as a country? The cost of living, considering cost of living, inflation, and exchange rate.
We have challenges. I will never use the word crisis. UK, the salary hasn't gone up. We have lots of strikes. And they and our teacher for strike, so we have challenges. Well, but we do have challenges as a nation. And part of solving that challenges is to get that $3 billion support from the IMF. But in the last 2 years, the economy has been growing. You're returning to growth again, which is fantastic. Services sector, grew. Manufacturing, pick up. Agri, pick up. Because after COVID, Ukraine, we found a way through the CARES program. Now you see, improve the economy. You follow. Now, I don't think Send our kind is IMF will not disburse if we don't raise the money. There may be 1 or 2 taxes so in a short term. Hey, yeah, 11 and I'm chain baby. There may be 1 or 2 taxes. Else to be able to meet our obligation. and within a short time, maybe meeting, we will level up, and I'm confident that the finance gurus will make the right decision. But when we talk of taxation, Kofi, if the NDC government had a vision for the country, for 27 years, they will be able to put in place systems and better taxation. As such, take you over. There was less than 2 million people who were paying tax in Ghana for a population of 30 million. You know that. So you buy a national identification, and they walked out on it. They challenged Juma. And this is the problem I have with the NDC. Because they do not have the vision, your division be about for them and Juma. What does say? Again, policy that they are about NDC for providing similar alternative. They have to walk out. Free SHS, they walk out. A community people are living on trauma and they don't go through. They walked out. And then we walk out of parliament. And no, you are come and walk out.
Yeah, thank you.
The way NDC going, me ba jo me land me nante brɛ we nsam nem babu NDC going ye de makɔ sɛ mo nkɔ parliament na mo nkɔ di ɔman no ho dwuma na mo de when in zoo no mo tena hɔ when that zoos no na mo nante a we ye nipa ɛsɛ yɛ to abama no biem enti no the government of the NDC or the shadow government headed by previous excellency His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Polytank President, if I'm sure, the NDC has no policy alternative. I'm a more no addition. Kofi, we should come here. We have ministers, oh my being sharp. People who know what they're doing. Yet to be conform beer. Only also by you, Kuko, any Kuko, Aton Kosia. When we are thinking of automation industry, you're thinking of car industry. You're thinking of 1B1F. You're thinking of expanding healthcare. You're thinking of drones. We don't want in Kukobo in Ghana. Right. We have had enough in Kukobo. We don't want anymore. Yempe aboboya. Yempe motre policy. Yempe buying the Ghana between Pong. Ama Ghana abaye krabere.
What in
Where there's a Kukuwa can't say.
And I'm in here.
Media may make up a fat to the end of the bone because we share track record of NDC. Bibia Niwa Jetting say Ode party Minui, the two Senia MPP and necessary to Abaman. What I say? And the baby I do man and I'm expecting this budget as you're talking about now. Say betting friendly to the people. I know say in Suto in so forwarding. Na koku kan se enria yatoto fense kruma fo aketwam even time kra na ye kra ye ntimi nya ske we am free baby na yatrum 30% wo mutum 6% e wo UK asma me no kanoti ni aban a wo no kra de ne ho akire no mutimi to adwumayefo aketwam 30% kogu me boa na wante
betepa
so atiase yen ye kra na ye ni bi no nam sa ban na dwene sebe e wo fie na opese system no tumi sa pagya no ba back ampa utumi yes sa ne ma no ketin na e de ekọ yanim a ebetumi aboa ampa na I believe that the budget should be a bit friendly, not too harsh on the people with if you look at this IMF scale beya
to ensure that debt it means
you see that they about sometimes na NDC for so much do setting woman tiasio and now more pretend you so $3 billion a year can was him. That is not the money now ever be save or mine. And yes, he can never save or my Ghana or home and the mammy chim. That money, it is because of say NDC for ya etimi say or mine din a ma or mine a shiase with the pace speedy pa Ghana the shiase. Now as I say yes I'm sorry back. Why? Because the moment I almost yes I did now panic withdrawing and this and that they are happening and they say after investors' confidence have gone down. Utias mamino can say. Now no people are pulling their investment away. Now a company say sika no kra ya de beba wo system no mu amana ba be boa wa ma watimi e de akekere wo man no individuals are pulling out. So the IMF, the idea of IMF is not because of say Jessica no kekenya no. We needed that kind of a guarantee. It's a guarantee. It's like okwa high dying. What you say? Now o record no nye. Now o kofi. Ya ba be fa me. Say me guarantee ma because me background no ye. Me record you good. Na enuma ye nua ba won na si dan no. Won you ni. Na won fa ne dan no ma na han. The IMF has now become a guarantor for us. It is a sika na omode brɛ no de and no ye budget support baba boy and kakra. But then when because of said now wo no tire tinti no obi and ebe ye na dwuma e wo ye man ni mu a onim said now no wo support ebe ma na dwuma na timi grow. So this IMF adidin a yentiase ya binum kra ye confused.com go for your data omonia senior nyina wo mo de okra de wo so mo call for policy credibility even adwene kra ye de bu o man no mo so mo ni bi e ko tena senti no mo ni ade e de kra don kokko so kai ye de ya ye ko yi unim ade na mo pe na ye nim guase unim na ma make secret ba ko ade ponti a e-levy e so far our parliament was because it was a game changer for Ghana and kayen ko IMF IMF Kofi. Eti NDC for who say if we manage to put that 1.75 na ye can through as quickly as possible at that time and can ye bet me up go through the hardship no na ye free mu. And they deliberately delayed the e-levy till say Ghana fu nyina bu fu ya to extend say adia na nka ebe ma ya bobo brampa no jigu ye unim baby na nka sika ni ekofri aba sika na ko free that percentage na ye je no survey omo ye ani ade nyina no 40% of the people are na omo ye hiafo could not so omo krampo betimi ascend this sika 100 a day. It was going to come from sika no na nke ye beje no, it was going to come from the companies na sika free ya man no mu e de ko abonten ti asoma me ka che on na hia pa ansa na mababa wasem no so na ma wie no quick. Okay, they did that to kill the front of those businesses na nka betimi ade sika bre yan ampa na yetimi dia boy ho bra amana ye yie, and they did not say on betimi ahwe a support yen ama yen ya ye ampa because no munim say nka dia e-levy no go through ampa enka Ghana no we no NDC komo ma power kra biem eti now no ya suffer because uncle for na enam sa panic creation of nkofon ko yi o musika ne ade omu nyina ko yi sika na afa ya tutwi ye no 7 no investors nyina san call ye no say sika na nka ye betima nya free investors no that time nka if say omu ye adwuma na ebumi ampa na nka omu send o musika ya da bia ye sese gu moto mu di koyi na ene wo di fa through the system no mu na yakoti e-levy free mu na abaga na ho NDC for so omu mpene eti ya wie na ya back sisi ya the IMF eba be ya mayen say or the sa investors ni nyina eba back. Thankfully that 1% I think 1% is emeboa e-levy no they go through the 1%. Yeah. Thankfully yetimi pass it at the crowd boy yan sa question of what was the question say what was the
your best thing and I say
no I'm talking about say
your economy.
More than 2 minutes.
The state of our economy.
The state of the economy. No say conditionalities now. Never batter home. Conditionalities now never batter home. Yeah, lucky. The entire team negotiate year and say we managed to pass the e-levy as a collateral in the system to support our argument. We no pen say and kayan kono wo mun kan kire say free SHS ya twam asuma si we ya mamonye we ya mamonye enti when we managed to do that now you create this collateral no for us so we were able to put down proper argument with them say Wait, yeah, mamma, my answer because your mother. Also, almost say, as my make a toy, no,
It's your land. Yeah.
I said,
It's more than 2 minutes. It's more than 2 minutes.
Which is a land
five. If you can land there 5 minutes.
No, it's more than 2 minutes.
Sorry, I'll give you.
Oh, crowd, oh, because I would have made who's I'm so home. Man, yes.
It's catching passing on no fees. Moko already passing on no fees.
Sir, budget now, Eba. Biso Furiata, Honorable Furiata. One more dear, so waiting a shim ye pa na flexibility be or baby, as I say to me, Babas so Uncle Wasene, especially school feeding programs, no money a day, and Kalani school, no money a day, Nina, Yanshin ye, Sanya Baya, because Tansi in a war, man, Musia, and no credit, no aka. Ghana for Ankasa, and who say a moya day, and intimacy. Yamma balance ka camera na Emma Ghana for Nkushi.
Thank you. We will be back shortly, and then we're having a short break, and we'll be back shortly, and Conrad and Sumeya will continue. Thank you. Thank you, viewers. We'll be back shortly. Thank you. Thank you, producer. Thank you. Welcome back. Conrad.
Yes, boss.
You heard the last question about the review, the media review, which will be taking place on 27th of July, when Minister of Finance Ken Ofori-Atta will deliver the media review, budget statement, and economic policy of the government.
Yeah.
What do we expect from the media budget review?
Thank you. More of the same. Before I quickly say that, you see, I'm glad my two elder brothers here have done a really good job at trying to, a friend is saying, put lipstick on a pig.
Thank you very much for that.
No matter how hard you try, no, at the end of the day, it's still,
For that
and that's where then,
compliment. Thank you.
But you see, let me quickly address. My brother says, and I'll go into the points quickly. So, Anka, if E-levy had been passed, we won't go to IMF. E-levy was supposed to be 6.9 billion Ghana cedis. You translate it to dollars, roughly about $600,000. How will $600,000 save you or replace 3 billion? That was a major question. If or more, they can make the decision for themselves. So E-levy wasn't going anywhere. The E-levy we have now is barely making about what, 600 million, less than 10% of what it was. So that was problematic in itself. So I'll put that aside. As for my brother Kweku, he says they have automated economy. I agree with him. They have automated it into a kwashako economy, into their economy, automated kwashako economy. So, AKE, automated kwashako economy. Now, he talks about environmental factors. Yes, personal. We all agree on environmental factors. Here are a few stats for them. And I took this from the World Development Indicators. I play around with this data a lot. World Development Indicators. Mokaya, in 2007, 2008, 2009, the world, what they call now the Great Depression, a biggest economic crisis in the world that started as a credit crunch, went into what do you call it, a credit crunch within the banking sector, spread into the economy, and ended up becoming a sovereign debt crisis. You remember Greece, remember the Dubai sovereign crisis. A lot of economies were affected, even in this country. If you remember, banks started collapsing. It had a global impact. Banks that participate in our Eurobonds and all those ones. In the face of that huge problem, and that's the biggest economic crisis since the Wall Street crash in the 1920s. And yet, under President Kufuor, let me give you a few stats. I'm just picking a few items. In 2007, President Kufuor, inflation was at 10.7%. In 2008, it was at 16.4%. So remember, the crisis started gradually in 2007, picked up pace in 2008. By 2009 and 10, economies were collapsing, Greece and all that stuff. So you have expected that dramatic hit to our economy between 2007 to 2010 should have given you you should have noticed it.
It wasn't a global
Right?
event. It wasn't a global event. It was a Greece problem particularly. So be
So
honest.
the financial crisis was not global.
Oh.
No, be honest.
Then UK
What
problem
was the good? That's the
Ukraine
point.
shouldn't actually affect Ghana.
Relax. You see,
You
Kweku,
write it down.
Ukraine shouldn't
exactly.
affect
Come
Ghana.
in. Yeah.
When you were talking,
Why does that-
He says it was not a global event. Let me remind him. It was triggered by the collapse of Lehman Brothers in the US. Here, what happened to RBS? It spread across, there was contagion across the Eurozone. Greece was affected. Dubai is not in Europe. America, they passed a stimulus scheme. Britain passed a stimulus scheme. The EU passed a stimulus scheme. If you have a problem that is in Asia, it's in Europe, it's in America, and you say it's not a global problem, then we have to redefine global. But the point I'm making is that in spite of that, President Kufuor growth rate, he chalked 4.3% in 2007 and 9.1% in 2008. Was that not economic hit on him? Come to 2000 when the NDC took over, right? And there's a particular metric, I will cite it, GDP per capita. It holds all things equal. It looks at your performance per head. How much has each person's welfare improved in that period? In that period when we were sweating, President Kufuor recorded 1.6% improvement in 2007 and 6.3% in 2008. I'm just bringing their own to show that these kind of isolated stuff. And let's be clear, the impact of Ukraine-Russia war on Ghana, our exports to Russia is 1.2, literally nothing, 1.2% of our totals. Literally, imports about 1.1. Literally nothing from Ukraine. And yet, somebody wants me to believe that 98.8% is being destroyed by 1.2%. Now, you had what you call the commodities price crisis between 2014 to 2016. Now, ask him, in that time, you see, I have barely started, and you are interrupting me and stymie me.
No,
in that time, yeah, commodity prices collapsed. Oil prices, and remember we were an oil economy that grew by 14% in 2011. From 2014, copying 2016, that price crash, it was driven by dumping demand in China and the rise demand for oil in China, as well as from the supply side, the shale producers in the US. So the oil price came down and it affected most resource-rich economies. That is one of the problems that drove us to the IMF, right? That is one of the challenges. In spite of that, let me tell you good news. Our inflation rate was 17% in 2015 and 17% in 2018. Sorry, in 2016. Oh, I told development indicators.
I said we want to spreadsheets of my
relax. Who we are, I have told you. Anybody can go to
so where my website on it? Where wouldn't why spreadsheet?
No, you can go and research.
Oh,
that's a job for you.
That's a job for you.
Because
I don't know
research. What's your problem?
Yes, man, 1 minute over Nyan Dronucha. What an actual
Here we are. When we finish this, I will go to the World Bank site. World Bank site, and I will download all the data. I will send it to you. Then next week they should read that data. Yeah, we do man to man. Let me to ask you, but I hope say all those interruptions.
Last time, Chairman,
I am not cutting
about economy. You are very
You still have your 2 minutes.
data. Me don't know. Don't worry, me. I have all the time. You see what I was telling you, sir? When they are talking, we are quiet. When we are talking, they are making noise. Now let us go to the details.
You are responsible for this life.
You see?
What do you mean you? We are
relax.
I didn't want to slice it to the
What's the next time we have a forward spreadsheet?
Go website.
No, but look. He
you can't defend it. You can't defend this.
You don't do that.
Go ahead.
So you see, that's the World Bank side.
Oh boy!
Relax. The point I'm making is when they go home, let them go to the World Bank site, and let them download a friend of World Development Indicators. Don't get confused. There is World Economic Indicators. There is World Governance Indicators. When your World Development Indicators, when you download, it's across the globe. It's reliable data. Let them download it. Let them get familiar with it. Then they can come whenever they want. Now let me go back to the point, because I'll just let them make noise, but the point will still be made. If you go through the World Development Indicators, you can start anywhere you want. And I took my time to analyze that data. Because maybe I don't want to just come and speak by heart. I speak based on World Bank for Mr. Pierre Laporte for also track record. Also track record. This I know. On that data now, and I'm telling anybody can go on and look for it. If you look at the record of the NDC, he has brought how long versus the record of the MPP. Let me give you some news. When it comes to GDP growth, I will give you GDP growth. In President, listen, in President Kufuor's, don't worry. Oh, dear Manu, when in President Kufuor's 8 years, average growth rate, average GDP growth rate was 5.8%. If you add up all the growth rates for all his 8 years and divide it by it, you get 5.8%. But in aggregate, what the Ninian Akabum for the 8 years, you are getting something in the neighborhood of about 100 and, if you like, 111% in total. Under President Mahama and President Mills, the NDC's period. And there's a reason why I have taken this period. When they latch onto it and they ask the question, I'll provide the answer. Under the NDC, our average growth rate was 6.5%. In fact, that is why say in 2011, we recorded 14%. These people have never gone near that. In aggregate, total, right? The total amount that the growth rate, I'll stick to the 6.5% under President Nana Addo. And you know what I have done? I have been kind enough to go all the way up to last year's growth rate and then go into what they themselves are giving to IMF as their projected growth rate for this year and next year. This year, I think they are probably about 2.8% they want to move to.
So, Conrad, is increasing tax is tax increase the only option for the government to sustain?
No. Wakasa for 10 minutes.
Only 1 minute.
10 minutes.
Conrad, go ahead.
So the simple point I'm making is in this year they are going to hit 1.5%. Next year they'll hit 2.8%. In aggregate, if you add those two, numbers, IMF, the IMF, I gave it to you the other time, right? The IMF document, ECF document, they projected in it, and they are going to end up with 4.2%. So, in the track record now, I'll come to it.
No, but you have 1 minute now.
No, why? Kofi, you see, this is the point. You see, Kofi, when I am trying to make my point, they are interrupting.
Yes.
Then suddenly they say, give me 1 minute. You are giving 1 minute. I haven't accused you of bias. They have. I will have to land on my point.
2 minutes.
Okay, good. The point I'm making is a track record for track record. President Kufuor was in the average growth of 5%. NDC gave an average of over 6%. Nana Addo has taken us back to the 1990s of 4.2% average, and there's nothing they can do about it. As for inflation, there, 54.2%. Very shocking. And let me tell you the thing. In terms of welfare, improvements in welfare, on aggregate, President Kufuor improved everybody's welfare using the GDP, real GDP per capita by about 3%, 3.09% in his period. The NDC did it, 3%, right? NDC took it to 4%. Nana Addo has brought it back to 1.9%. So Nana Addo has not only embarrassed the MPP's record, by taking us back to Stone Age. Track record. These are the details. These are the details. Now, the point I brought those two events in, those events was there. President Kufuor suffered the 2008 financial crisis and he delivered. He didn't give us negative 1.1% GDP per capita as we are getting this year. President Mahama and President Mills suffered the second half of the financial crisis as well as the commodity credit price crash, and yet they finished with 3.4%. These people in 2020 they finished at 0.4. This year they are going at 1.5. Next year they will finish when they are exiting office at 2.8. They would have been begging to get that 3.4.
Thank you.
Kofi, let me finish. Now I will come to the question itself.
Maza,
Kofi, no, listen. They have been interrupting me, and listen. No, the thing is, what you have to keep doing from now on,
you have to be
12 minutes.
No, let me. I'm also done. Don't worry. But what you need to do is every time somebody is interrupted,
you have to give more time.
That way, you see,
so that you
when it comes to NDC, what who says? Yeah, we are gentlemen. We just sit quiet, gentlemen, ladies. We don't interrupt. So let me finish the point. Point now, me person, me can say, right? Where we are.
30 minutes. No,
but you have taken 6 minutes of that 30 minutes. You have taken 6 minutes of it. So let me land.
Land.
Yes. Whatever Ofori-Atta does, our IMF deal is hinged on cutting a lot of government flagship programs. that they themselves are refusing to acknowledge. It's in the IMF document. If you want, let them read it and digest it, and we can talk about it. What we are doing now, we have announced cocoa bond. They cripple cocoa sector with over 13 billion cedis worth of debt. Now that's the next debt exchange they just announced. And they are going to be cutting bonds that were sold to Ghanaians at over 32%. They are now cutting it down to 13%. So you are robbing 20% out of Ghanaians' pockets. This is money that would have gone into the economy. And why are we doing it? We are cutting our noses. If you calculate that, you are cutting our noses spite. The solution now, my solution is not going to be taxes. No.
14 minutes.
It's also 14 minutes. 14 minutes.
Kofi, there's a saying that a decorated monkey is still a monkey.
Good.
Who said that?
There is a saying.
It's
You
true.
cannot
It's true.
change it.
Who said that?
And it
Who
happens.
said that?
Now, Kwame, there's this Kwame Ajapong. Kwame Ajapong, the leading member of NDC,
Who said that?
MPP, who is coming.
Can you repeat what you said?
Kofi
So
Kula.
people will understand.
No, it's a prophet.
Let her.
It is a prophet.
Everybody should be quiet.
Check the time.
You see what he's doing?
How many minutes have you got?
Come on.
I have 5 minutes because
6 minutes. Okay. So I'll
Right.
time it. If they
Kweku.
come, I'll start the clock. Then I'm here timer.
look,
Please, bro.
His Excellency JM said when they don't know what to do, when look, they have never look. Kweku, listen. A decorated monkey is still a monkey. It doesn't change. You can decorate it so much, and you are still monkey. You haven't
We have to
changed.
start again.
Yes.
No, we don't.
Now,
We don't.
JM once said. JM.
Don't talk back. Don't talk back.
His Excellency JM said once that when they cannot rule or they have never ruled, they don't know. They just feel it's a saying, let me sit down, I can rule, we have the man, I can rule. No, a country doesn't run by like a family. And the way Chairman is talking and Kweku is talking, they think Ghana is their personal home family that they can run. It doesn't make sense. That is why my colleague gave Digits actually do proper research to come out with numbers and figures to tell them the right thing. And I mean, he's been nice enough to show them the links on where to get information from. Because I think my colleague Kweku is missing with how to do research for his work. So he needs to be addressed on that properly. Now, Kweku Ajapong, that is your MPP, the one who is coming. No, it's Kweku, Kobina. Kobina said Ghana is on its knees. And yes, he said Ghana is on its knees. No. Listen, Kobina Ajapong said Ghana is on its knees, and that is MPP guy. He is MPP and he's saying it. I am not expert, financial expert. He says it. Ghana is on its knees, and you know that, and you understand that. You are here, you don't understand. A bag of what's happening is that a bag of corn is 500 Ghana. A bag of corn was 200. And for a lay person, a Ghana lay person, we don't understand the figures and everything else. No, but a lay person in Ghana, we are suffering. And the right words, even at North, what they'll say is that summer knowledge, the country is now summer knowledge. And summer knowledge means it's full of credit. Everything is debt upon debt. Nothing is moving in the country. People who even go to, I remember 4 years ago, most of the private schools were going, all the children were MPP members. They've started pulling their children out because they can't sit down and reason properly to form proper policies that will help the country. They come out with all these flaws. Free education. No books, no textbooks in the schools. With free education.
So, books in your schools?
Oh yes, because I have to provide it. It's a private school. It's not. But there are no school. No, there are no books in schools. No textbooks. That is one thing. The second thing is that teachers were asked to buy computers, and they took their salary. They took money from their money, their this thing to provide them with computers. Where are the computers? They were all scam.
Teachers were asked to buy, they took money from it. I don't understand what you're saying.
They took money from their salaries. Yes, because it wasn't for free. They didn't provide it. They were asked to buy. Yes, they were asked to pay money. They were asked to pay money. Listen. They were asked to pay money. Oh, you start now. Listen. Teachers were meant to pay money for computers, for laptops, and they never got the laptops. And those who had the laptops, they were just scam. You take it and the screen is not working. You take it and something is missing out of it. And their money was taken from their salaries. Now pensioners' money is squandered by your government. And that tells common Ghanaians that MPP is not for them. MPP is not a country, a government that can run a country. Because MPP will run the country as if it's their personal property. No, we've gone far from that. Nobody at the moment is enjoying Ghana. So if you sit here and drink milk,
you are enjoying United Kingdom here.
If you drink milk here and start to talk, to say big things, yeah, we have the men, when the men cannot reason enough to come out with good policies, then it's just a shame. And JM said, you have never ruled. You don't know how to rule. Because you need to actually sit down and think and reason and get the people to think alongside with policies that you make and come out to say, oh, you haven't, I don't even think you read your own manifesto. Because I came out with something, chairman of all chairman, MPP chairman of UK chapter. You are denying that it wasn't part of chapter 15. You are denying that it wasn't part of your manifesto. And is there a screenshot? Or is branch? Okay, that's fine. So it makes sense. Maybe when you go to the chapter level, you understand your own manifestos properly and you can defend it properly. Now I'm coming back to
with your analysis, what is the true state of Ghana economy? Looking at inflation, exchange rate, and cost of living.
At the moment, a pound is going for 15 plus Ghana cedis. £1. That is serious.
But do we have economic management team that is dealing with that?
It's a failure. Complete failure. Complete failure. My brother Bawumia stood as the I think the top guy in
the same place?
Oh yes, I'm from Walwale and I stayed in Walwale. Okay. And it's a scam. It's sad because they couldn't come. Oh yes, then now it's revealed because it's exposing them because all the fundamentals are wrong. And he is gone shut because he can't even come out to talk. But the sad thing is that all these people who have run the country down are coming back to stand as a candidate for MPP again. Now this is serious. We have a good track. MDC have a good track of something that they can talk about. We have them. We have got so much. Yeah, the policies that we did. We came out with. We deliver. Hospitals are both. Can you just MPP cannot boast of one hospital. You cannot boast of one hospital. One. Just tell me one hospital. One E-block. One infrastructure. Just tell me what you have done. Oh yes. Then they've gone so cheap that going to cut a sword for toilet. Come on, that's below the belt. It's below the belt.
Oh, you don't know?
Now, His Excellency, Nana Akufo-Addo went to Bolga to cut a sword for traffic lights.
Yeah. Traffic light.
Is it a lie? What a joke. What a joke! That is serious. So what I would say to conclude, Ghana is actually on a stretch. I am not a medical team. I am not a nurse or a doctor, but I know Ghana is sick. I know Ghana is sick.
Spoken very well, and we're giving you 1 minute
Oh,
for
thank
your
you.
final say for today's program.
And that's all I can say. You didn't want to do what
My NDC.
For your final say of this today's program, and also meeting Ofake, then
The failing government
and then Conrad
members.
for the first time.
Yes. Oh. Well, it's
Your
really
final
nice
say
talking
for
to
the
them.
program.
Yeah.
At TF4, we are sorry we won't be able to take calls because we have started from 1:30 and we've been here from 1:30.
3 against 2 and
we're
3 against
taking
2.
any calls. But we will take calls from next week. We are sorry we won't be able to take calls. So 1 minute, please. Thank you.
Okay. We have my boss just wedded last week,
Who's your boss?
Honorable Dr. Hannah Bisiu. And I'm just going to say congratulations. It's really nice. Congratulations to my boss. So that is one thing. Now, observers are worried. They are worried. So,
Abranteɛ bi wɔ kurom ha wɔse ɔhwɛ ne photo na n'ani agye saa na ɛsɛ wakɔware ɛne wɔbɛwu wɔse sɛ wɔware gye ne wɔbɛwu
I'm sure Chama. It may be Chama.
Okay, because anyway.
Look, that is what the next thing is. We have NDC. We are crying at the moment because we have Honorable Shirley Ayite who lost her life yesterday, and I would say condolence to the family, and it's a big loss to the women's wing at the moment. That is why I dressed black and red to mourn. So yes, so I would say thank you to UK and Ireland chapter, all the hardworking guys around. Then my Northeast region that we are waiting to kick Bawumia out of the scene. It's not only the MPP going to kick him, we will kick him off too. So we are working. Oh yes, oh yes. Then when he could speak the good English, they have to put him there to collect the rubbish, and that is what he's good at doing, I think. And I think communicators, they know that. They put him there to say all the rubbish things, all things that are not right. Okay, all the bad ones that shouldn't be said. Okay, that is all the bad ones. Kweku, you are not good at all. So I tell you, he's not good.
Last word for the program today.
Oh, me, my last word.
No interruption, because any interruption will give you more time.
I should have been given more time because Kweku actually
I
interrupted
did give
me.
you more time.
Okay.
For that one, thank you.
So, my last word in this, I want to first and foremost express my condolences to the family of Honorable Dr. Shirley Ayite, and of course, some signs are to me.
What
is your problem?
They have empty no policy.
So we start with you need to start with
Show your chairmanship. Show your chairmanship.
Please. Respect Conrad, let him continue.
Okay, so we are starting again. Good one, dear. And of course, my congratulations to Honorable Dr. Hannah Bisiu. I'm very happy that he's married a man. You know, we have the men, Ankasa. It's good. I hear the man is not MPP, so I'm very overjoyed because it could have been another problem. Say, because well, the man, your compass one, na woman no crying you. For me, the message here is I want two groups, two people. I'll add my two brothers here into one group, and then Kennedy, Oforiata. I suffer his pain. I know, say, under his bed. What is there now? It's not on the ground. It's higher than Cecilia, the past one. But when it comes to this budget, he should cut the budget at the presidency. He should cut the budget at all the ministries and parastatals that are not delivering front-line services. If you can cut your budget, we need to tighten our belt into austerity. Because that is the easiest way to get out of these economic woods. All these embellishments, domestic exchange programs, it's not going to take us anywhere. Finally, I want to express my gratitude to my two brothers. It is not easy. You see, Baumia said, when the fundamentals are weak, the economy will expose you. But when your government is very bad, your communication position will expose you. Also, sometimes they were arguing with themselves. It's not easy. So I let my heart out to them. Please, help your government to write your handover notes.
Yes, 1 minute.
We are coming to do a thorough cleanup. All those with money under their beds, beware. And let me repeat what I said earlier. Every house help, whether you are an NDC appointee or MPP appointee, if you see a Samboto or Ghana must go bags of dollars, sister, never cut down. That's how the economy will move on. We want Robin Hood.
Oh, he's coming. You see? That is good. He's coming.
MPP are buying that by
MPP are buying.
I told you, campaign not to.
MPP are buying.
NDC are buying.
Who can say MPP are buying led by John Mahama?
NDC are buying led by John Mahama. Campaign no, I told you.
We haven't started yet.
Send a woman's organizer to her person and who she has been able to flourish in a country, in a system that she's blaming. She hasn't had who so ọba yẹn nana di wọ́n tutu a ní ehun sẹ yẹ ẹsẹ ẹ dẹ̀ wọ Ghana ọtí wọ́n ẹhwẹ́ ntoma ẹ̀fọ́ ni gold mo bá tún sí ni ẹhwẹ́ no ẹ gíláàsì ẹ̀hyẹ́ no ní n'asom deɛ di gold náà gold for ẹ̀yí money náà ẹ̀yẹ yẹ no ebi na ọdín náà bá bẹ hyẹ n'aso a ọtí hẹ wọ́n deɛ wọ́n ti ha wọ́n deɛ wọ́n yi ka ha èdè wọ́n deɛ ẹ̀mí nfa wọ́n mẹ́m ebi na ọsẹ sika no kakra dẹ̀ ká ayẹ ẹ̀dẹ̀ bíbélì ọba ọdẹ ẹ̀wọ́ yẹn nka wọ́sẹ̀m yẹn sẹ́ women's organizer Zagrebu developments are here. Mediyaw, in fact, Mediyaw. It's not Medikan Kaya.
Northeast, not Sagre. Sagre is the northern region.
Thanks for the correction. The NDC can correct something. You know, Mama making mistakes be brave. Thanks for that. Sir,
because Kofi have 1 minute.
Kofi is okay. I'm family 1 minute. I'm family crime. My mom yesterday. But yeah. And asma I bet na haka nyina no. The omo listen nyina atie. Omo who the loopholes in some of the unrealistic projections. Oh my, Conrad has cooked his own figures. Some of them feel inspired. We're cooking the figures. No bet na. Some of them you. Oh, okay. Let's start before. Let's start before. Mama start again. Some of them feel inspired. Cooked figures. Some of them no phone. Click. No more sense. It been why bet na. Bet na change. Excel spreadsheet. And your website be no come for the oboa. Excel spreadsheet. Wa fan wa ba. Now question ba ko pe. And maybe sir, Conrad, maybe you may not have the opportunity to do this, but I know you're complicit in the same. But W, what person can say you could fear and scan no pass? Who now run? Who's cannot confirm for him? Where did you get? Who and this guy saying example? I don't need to be running school.
Bank. It's in the bank.
Bank. Bank can say no. Okay, let's start to be.
No, you ask a question, so.
Man, can I answer? Maybe some question man can answer. I didn't answer to answer. I asked a question, man can answer.
Please.
Yeah, free.
The chairman is waiting.
Because who hurry me up? Let's start again. About 12, I'll start again. Maybe some W say. She cannot the building in school, no. Or go for here. Because you think from here you know. And you pounds, but that's kind of who be that. It who accuses of this calculation fee. And Pano Crown says, I need a more, you do, and yet a you know. And no, the anchor was why I don't know. Yadi anunsi no yebesre etiefo amutie Omega TV edamwase in the first place. We admit as an MPP government say we've had challenges. We've had serious challenges. And challenges no and yet challenges are internally generated. I know say chairman cite some examples be. But there was only one challenge.
Former chairman.
Aspiring chairman. Or citing examples, but it was one. We've gone through two serious global challenges, and I know you best Ghana phone. I say, Senye Noah, we were doing pretty well. And globally, no, we've had a feeling. Germany was almost going into recession last month. United Kingdom inflation 10%, 40-year high. Chairman, Bajoman, my Okasa. Let's start it for Say above them. Say above them. Now say above them.
It was only above 10% for 2 months.
So it was above 10%.
Yeah.
Oh, so why
are you
54%? So why are you interrupting?
How can you compare 54%?
United States are having issues with their interest rates. Now, the air can say, you best Ghana for MPP Abangwe, the vision they go Akwemu, a party, I drink Ghana, I drink Kolaho, I drink Mammy Fohon, I drink Maho, I drink Memaho, I drink my Fohon. But problem I face here. Say a dream Maho because I'm a minimum foam or walk out my own drone and the Mojabe Momo. I drink Kolaho, Mungo free SHS. I drink Maho, ICT, I they are driving Kolani TVET. Free education, I drink pay for home a Juma because they employ over 2 million. Now, Kofi Mainland, they come and I'm a name. Conrad Nemobu, and not had to be Nemu. But mainland, say now, me demand no sino. Matter was for the opportunity. I know so Omega TV, you guys have been fantastic. You've given us the platform to do the debate. Joe, I appreciate you. Danswa, I appreciate you. More kisses to you. You also are debating, but the last point. MPP and NDC, given the two political parties, MPP is far. So NDC wasn't go through that train problem here. Now, when I'm just saying, can you be? And then, we'll be losing a more field. Public sector, they're still working. The government is still working. Abayno Gusu finding money, finding ways around improving the economy. But that's it.
Thank you.
Yo, that's it. Kobe, Mamena Menuabasi, Conrad is in Nanawa.
Mamena, when your fans power,
yeah, my men saw in Yanaba because then you can never grown to your management for now society. Now your mind is for now, and Ghana for now, because she served the country and the annual good is a video. Now, and then I'm in obedience. And I'm a bizarre question, say. And this is we share NDC for line up in terms of leadership. They send the MPP at me line 10 powerful people up. Call around the whole country. If we are to take Yewura John Dramani Mahama out now, who are the leaders that are going to lead Ghana from NDC side? The Mamman say, we see we have the men. It's true, we have the men. Look at the lineup. Now, Yewura Mama Sinchen. Nasa for Nishimpa, who say, bit me presidential material back home. Obit me your casse will be a castinia, a unipass Messiah. So be Nabia, Bonidin Sisiama. Now, the entire makers and say, you see, Adiana ye kano. Ghana na ye chichino. Ye life and death decision making. And ye agrodie. And ye NDC for betnasia kuku niama chichan tro more dena. Womo di ababe ase womo di tumfutrogu Ghana for adwinimu na obinye confused. No. Ye omo ankasa dachi abrabo. Ekwanya ye gu Ghana no is for them. School na yasese na akoye free senior high school na ewo na efie bia enjoy omu na sika enfree omu bottom enkomu no. Can you imagine this COVID-19 coronavirus and now mama ni di COVID-19 ya FFF na Ghana for ko wo say tue school fees that time na nke ye NDC aban and the waben. Can you imagine what would have happened to Ghana? We're talking about Asia dunketia na kai o mi kotuno. Was ukai omko Germany na no kwhye mata de no. Was omko ye brain work. Well, we are talking about brain work here. Say de chechire o man. Anya grow there de say manta de e de ko 1990 basa sa. Eti mamena wankasa nso so wase. Na da sibran nso so na wa yi. ofiri Manchester ɛna waba sɛ ɔba aba besom na nyinaa ya kɔ yenua ɔheneba ayie no sorry ne wedding no enti wo so dasebrɛ ye mo akɔ aba dasebrɛ ɛyɛ Manchester youth organizer wo de hwɛ ye youth organizer hwɛ so wo very nice smart guy solid wo de ya ne ntwa picture kra we no ba wa we what the word that we term aspiring chairman
producer
aspiring chairman edi mami landing is say na asantewa so asantewa so memfa aseda kese emfa ma asantewa sorry dansoa ne yenua jo adwuma na mo ye no Ghana adwuma and you guys have never been selective. You call everybody for us to come and debate on the good things and in Niama ebetimi aboa in my Ghana Omega TV nyame nhyiramo na ontremu hyiemu na yemnua baba omra senia wabanu ya na yen ni nkomo because all koi obetna business class and they are definitely and so ohia ne ekom e Ghana eti me da se kofi me do ase bebre
yo we dey take this opportunity near the adamu nyina ase your viewers so ye da mase adamu nyina ase for the long period ye na makro money ya or throughout you go home next week
business class no dey we na go use to come back and there
good afternoon everyone
na say what about that
or good evening everyone. Good evening.